The Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks. My childhood. These movies. Good God. I mean, the story is my my grandparents, my dad's mom. I don't really know my dad that much, but I'm not going to get into that. But she would send me tapes that she would record stuff on. And one of the tapes had the first two Mighty Ducks movies. The third one wasn't out yet. And the odd thing was, I watched the first one and then the third one when it came out, but didn't get to watch the second one until after the third one was out for some reason. This trilogy, which is going to be turned into a franchise because they're making a Disney Plus TV series about it that is really kind of irritating me the way they're doing it. Let me talk about it after I review this because it'll make more sense. So The Mighty Ducks tells the story of Gordon Bombay, played by Emilio Estevez, who in his youth was a pee-wee hockey player. During the big game, it got to a tie score, so in overtime, he had one shot, and he missed it. And he was never able to live that down. After his dad died, he gave up playing hockey. And he, now an adult, he's a lawyer and an alcoholic. And he gets a DUI or DWI, whatever. He gets DUI and represents himself in court, of course. But he gets suspended from his job and has to pay a fine and also has to do community service. His community service, of course, is that he has to coach a pee-wee hockey team. Because their previous coach had a heart attack. Or hurt his arm, as they say. Heart attack. Great. And this team, of course, is a ragtag group of kids. And they don't see eye to eye. But, of course, along the way, both the kids and Gordon end up seeing eye to eye, and Gordon grows as much as the kids do. I mean, at least the first two films in this series are about Gordon Bombay and what he has to go through. And especially this one. I mean, let's focus on the kids. Like, they introduce the kids and they show what they're doing and stuff, but it's Gordon's film, basically. And he, when he meets them, they're called District 5, and they're not very good, but he starts to train them, but he's not doing it right. He just wants to, he wants to do his community service and get it done when it starts. So he just shows them how to take hits and stuff. Well, eventually he realizes he has to take initiative, especially one kid, Charlie. And okay, let me talk about this now. There's sort of a romance between Gordon and Charlie's mom, but it's never really. They have one date in this, one kiss in this, and then it's never brought up again because by the second film something has happened, and I'll get to that, but I don't know. It comes to a head when he tells Charlie to cheat. Charlie refuses, and he goes off on him. And then Gordon sees a mentor of his, Hans, played by, doesn't say, it's the whatever. I don't remember the actor's name, but he gets this, he's a mentor. He's a father figure to everyone, basically. He was everyone, Hans talks to Gordon and tells him that he needs to find himself. Eventually, he starts to teach the kids, to play the right way, and it starts to work out. He then realizes that these kids, they have nothing. The pads are basically issues of the Inquirer, as he puts it. So he goes to his boss, Mr. Ducksworth, and asks him to pay money, $15,000, to get new equipment, and they'll name it after the firm. The Ducks is what it's called. Ducksworth, Saber, and Gross, but they call it the Ducks, and there's the name. Yeah. So one of the things is that before I continue, there are a couple of actors in this that I'm not going to specifically talk about, like where their lives headed afterwards. That's Shaun Weiss, who's kind of down and out right now due to some problems he's had, and he plays Goldberg. And then there's Jussie Smollett, who plays Terry, and he's also done some stuff, so I'm not going to talk about that either. Just talking about the movie. So, those of you who could be in the comments, oh, he's in this, and he's in this, and he did that, and he did that. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Alright? I'm just talking about the movie. I'm talking about people's personal lives. Alright? If I wanted to do that, I could mention that Emilio Estevez is Charlie Sheen's brother, and Charlie Sheen did this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. But I'm not. Because it's not important to the movie. I will mention one thing about Goldberg, though, is that when he asks if they have a goalie, Goldberg says me, but I'm moving back to Philadelphia. That never happens. He's in all three of the films, so that line always confused me. Throughout the film, Gordon does the coach thing. He recruits. He gets Fulton Reed, because the initial Ducks are Peter, Carp, Charlie, Goldberg, Averman, Guy, and Connie. And they recruit Fulton, Tommy, Tammy, who are brother and sister, and Banks. Danny Timberlake plays Tommy, and that's cool. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the actors who play Guy and Fulton are actually brothers in real life. Little, bit of trivia for you. I forgot about Terry and Jesse. They're one of the originals too. But he goes out to recruits Tammy, and then due to a change in the guidelines or whatever it was, the foundation line or whatever, Adam Banks, it says, Gordon was, there's a district line, and Gordon was a Hawk when he was younger. And due to the changing of the district lines, Gordon would now be, according to where he used to live, he would be a Duck. And that sets him up to look at the region lines or the district lines, and they find that Adam Banks, who's a Hawk, is supposed to be playing for the Ducks. And they're hesitant to bring him on because it's a Hawk and not a Duck, but eventually they learn to, to work with him. And Fulton doesn't know how to skate, so they help him learn how to skate, and they, eventually work up their way. And yeah, they become a good team and to make it to the championships against the Hawks. Now the Hawks, head coach, Jack, I forgot his name. He's played by an actor who's been in a lot of things, like Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman, and just other things. And he's the villain in this, and he's a great villain. And beginning of the game, he has them take out Banks, so he's not a problem for them. But they got the other ones to deal with, and eventually it does. Gordon grows up during the film, and the kids, grow as well, and it brings them together. And in this game, it reconnects to Gordon's past when they end up in a tie, and they go over sudden death. And Charlie takes the shot, and like Gordon, he uses the triple deke, but this time, Charlie makes the shot, unlike Gordon. So it's like Gordon's living vicariously through Charlie at this moment in time. Because Charlie did what Gordon couldn't do, and it brings back, Gordon. And Gordon, during the film, also grows as he tells off his boss, leaves the firm, and he becomes a coach full time. And then, at the end, he goes on to live his dream, and he goes to play in the minor league hockey, which is where we pick up in the second one. And I think, they leave off in this for a sequel if they did, but I don't think they were ever planning on it. It just, because he says we got a title to defend. The second film has nothing to do with the Pee Wee Hockey League, so who knows? But yeah, this is a decent film. A young Joshua Jackson plays Charlie. Actually, half of the characters in this don't return for the next one. They even got MC Gainey, who's the guy I was talking about from Lost or whatever the show I was talking about that he was in. Yeah. He's in this. He's not in the second one. And then you have Hans is not in the second one, but Hans comes back in the third one. I think maybe the actor wasn't available. I don't know. And half the Ducks are gone, like Tommy, Tammy, Terry, Carp, and Peter aren't in the second one. They're replaced with 5 others. But I see why they did it. I don't know if it was on purpose. If they're like, okay, we can't get these actors back, so we'll have to bring in 5 new ones. I don't know. But the second one's pretty good too. But yeah, this one, it's all about Gordon's journey. It focuses on the kids sometimes too, but it's all about Gordon, basically. Down to the plot, down to the part where Charlie now has to do what Gordon couldn't do. And Gordon has to watch this happen, possibly again, or Charlie could succeed. And they show this, and they showed it during the montage for the third one, is everybody is cheering as the camera's going down the line to each duck, and then it cuts to Gordon, and you can tell that he's nervous because it goes back to his childhood. And he's confronted everything he's needed to confront. He's told off his boss. He tells off Jack, his former coach. And he's stood up for himself. He's reconnected with Hans. He's connected with his kids. He's found somewhat a woman. But he's no longer the loser he grew up to be. He's found a second chance. He's found that one little silver lining in life. So yeah. What else can I say? This is one of my favorite movies to watch. Like since I was a kid, and I got the DVD collection. Yeah. So for the Mighty Ducks, it's gonna get a 9 out of 10. I can't get even better than that. 9 out of 10, man. It's a good movie. I've always kind of liked the second one better than this, but I really enjoyed it through this watch. We'll get to the other 2 later on today. And I also want to do Honey, I Shrunk the Kids because they're getting new. Okay. So, The Mighty Ducks is getting a new TV series for Disney Plus. And they're already fucking it up. So, here's the premise. The Ducks are no longer the underdogs they used to be. They're now the big guys, the winners, the top dogs in the hockey world. And when her son gets cut from the Ducks, a mother, played by Lauren Graham, seeks help from Gordon Bombay to put together a new team to take on the Ducks. You see my problem here? The Ducks have become the Hawks. And I understand it. And it would work as a sort of remake. And Emilio Estevez has confirmed that he's coming back. But hear me out. He's not needed. Hear me out here. Take out Bombay. Bring in Charlie. Because this could be a soft reboot of the Mighty Ducks, whole thing. Charlie played for the... Okay, if the Ducks are now the Hawks, then Charlie is now Bombay. And Charlie used to play for the Ducks like Bombay used to play for the Hawks. You have Charlie there to make a new team. And he can coach this new team to take on his former team. And you can even have someone who used to, remember, Fulton. Or although Fulton was more like his best friend, though. Somebody, Banks. Makes sense. Or, here's the thing. Bombay, because it's his former coach, it's like the Hawks. Bombay is still coaching the Ducks. Okay, this is my idea. This is not what's actually happening. This is my idea. Bombay is coaching the Ducks, and Bombay is turning into that jackass just like Jack, the coach from the Hawks. And only you spin it this time. You have Charlie teaching this team and pushing them to win. And in the end, Bombay, instead of being like the coach from the Hawks, actually shakes Charlie's hand and said, "You just needed to prove yourself to me, Charlie. That's all you ever needed to do. Like you didn't need to prove yourself to me, Charlie. You need to prove it to yourself. You still had what it took. And I'm proud of you." That sort of thing. That's a good idea. What they're doing, not so much. It doesn't seem like any of the previous characters besides Bombay are coming back. So, only thing I can think of is that Orion is now coaching the Ducks, right? So, in continuity, would the Ducks be like an Eden Hall thing or what? I don't know. It just doesn't seem right the way they're doing it. Now, the only problem with this new team coming around is that it's called the Mighty Ducks. You can't have a team opposing the Ducks called the Ducks, so what do you... It's just confusing. And you call it District 5. I don't know. But yeah, I think this show's going to ruin the legacy of the Mighty Ducks. If we also ignore the cartoon, which was decent, but had nothing to do with this. Anyway, like I said, 9 out of 10 for me. So what are your thoughts on the Mighty Ducks? What are your thoughts on my idea for the new TV series? Or their idea for the new TV series? Is mine better? I think it is. So let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Ducks rock. Quack.